All right, let's get into the last segment of the day, as we always do, which is what we've been sipping on. Any media that you have consumed recently or that you just want to talk about. I know that I do this every week, so it kind of is like a week-by-week thing, but we haven't seen Ryan at all and Jack in a while, so let's get into it, y'all. Fucking what you've been sipping on. I'm going to start with Ryan, if you feel comfortable doing it. Any television, music, whatever, man. Fucking put it out there. Let us have it. Deep.
I've been diving into a newer anime. I'm not even sure if it's newer or not, but it's called Blue Lock, and it's really about Japanese soccer.
Oh
And
yeah, I
them
know what you're
trying
talking
to
about. Okay.
create, dude. It's actually really good.
Dude, fucking,
Um,
it's a style of anime that I've never gotten into. I watch a lot of anime, but the sports anime, I'm not really about it. I've definitely
and
seen.
see, this is the first one that I've ever gotten into, but the depth of the story, the depth of the character, and it gives backstories for all the characters as to why they're there and what they're doing. It gives them all like unique skill sets and really teaches them how to work
Yeah,
together because they're all fighting for the exact same
yeah,
position.
and they do it.
Dude, it's wicked.
And they do it in a way that looks like anime. Like it's not just
Oh,
fucking your cookie cutter sports movie or whatever that we'd see in
mhm.
America. It is like they have almost like anime choreographed fight scenes, but with a soccer game. So
Dude, it's so good.
yeah, yeah.
It really is. It's aside from that, really, I've gotten away from Apex a little bit, and I've been
Same.
diving a little bit more into Destiny. Um,
Nice.
really enjoying that, and I know that Destiny's about to come through and do a whole lot of like updates and changes and stuff like that. So I'm getting into it just for them to change it. But
Yeah,
eh,
and Destiny's been one. Sam talks about Destiny a lot, and I played original Destiny. It's a game that I really want to get into, but it's one of those games that's not free, so I can't just hop on. You actually have to pay for it, and then I
mhm,
don't know if I'm going to pay and I'm going to have people to play with because I don't play by myself. But another
fair.
thing with Destiny that kind of deters me a little bit is when I played original Destiny, I loved the Crucible. It was so fun.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Multiplayer was so fun,
Oh,
but
the
the rest of
trials.
it,
that's still my favorite
the
part.
rest of
It's
it,
the best thing.
I
One of the
just
coolest
don't I
multiplayer
don't like
ever.
PVE. I don't like
Oh, legend.
interacting with AI or whatever you want to call it. The trials, the raids that you do, and just like the storyline or whatever, it just didn't do anything for me. And like that's a part of the
Right.
game that you have to play if you want to advance in the game. So yeah,
Yeah,
The storyline was pretty lackluster, but the PvE would have been a lot cooler to me, like the raids, had they had a means to beat it without like I hate that structure in video games, period. If you have to look online to know what you're doing because it's so complex, that kills it for me. I want in-game hints. I want fucking AI I can talk to. I want shit I can find from searching the single player that it's like, here's what you need to do to beat this boss.
hmm,
I hate the idea that the only way to beat something is for one of your teammates to research a raid beforehand. Here's here you got to jump here so you can get
well,
to this part so you can beat that. That
you
kills it
don't
for
you
me.
don't have to do that. I know that
Oh no, you do
that's
with
the.
Destiny. You 100% do. At least the original.
oh
You
yeah,
cannot
Do
beat
you?
those five. Oh yes,
yeah.
bro.
So
Go with
the
five
very
person
first
raids.
raid they ever came out with, they had a team go in there, and it took them what 31 hours straight to beat it because they had no hints. No, they were just going off of what they
Well,
found.
that's the way all
No
the
insight.
raids work, isn't
No,
it?
Mhm.
yeah,
Because
that's
one
my
team.
problem. You should have.
Well, that
There
just
should be some.
that's your own integrity of the game at that point. If you want to play the
Yeah,
game fucking and not do all that, then don't do it. Fucking figure out the
bro.
raid
That's
by
what,
yourself. But
that's the thing. It would have taken like it's not by
Yeah,
yourself because you can't do a 5 person raid and hope to do anything. You have to have a full team of committed 4 other people who also have your same
yeah,
integrity. And that was my problem because I'm playing with my homies down here who had no patience for it. So we would try the raid 5 times, can't get anywhere, and eventually someone caves and like, well, here's how you beat it. And I'm like, well, I don't want to play anymore.
yeah,
I don't want
yeah,
to do it.
I
I'll
feel
go
you.
back to trials. I'll go do the trials and go to the lighthouse every week. That's what I like to do anyway.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And then I still love the PvP aspect of Destiny, and like
oh, that's amazing.
there's so many new guns that are out now. There's so many things that are supposed to be meta that old metas are being broken, and there's still
Right.
meta on top of meta on top of meta. I mean,
Dude,
it's
I
you see a
remember.
lot of the same stuff, but it is still hella competitive. It is still I still love rocking in the PvP
Yeah, I
and the
mean they
Their
Crucible.
still
PvP is top tier.
they
The
still do
reason I,
have competitive PvP too, like actual like
Oh yeah,
oh yeah,
MLG type
like
shit.
3v3
yeah,
Yeah,
eliminations and
yeah,
stuff.
oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, the reason I stopped playing the game in general, Destiny 1, I never played 2, is because I mean I love that game, even with the issues I just expressed. What I had issue with is I bought that game at launch. I paid for every expansion. I paid for everything that came out. So at one point, I was almost $180 invested. And then they redropped the game to draw in new people, and you could get everything for $60. And that pissed me off. I was like, here I am paying all this money, and you're bringing it like it should have been I get some kind of discounts or whatever, or other people have to pay a certain amount of money. That made me mad because they're appealing
from day one. You can
I'm here day one. Why am I getting
for it?
Yeah, exactly. Why am I getting punished? That's the day I stopped playing it. And I love Bungie. I was a Halo guy. I could not support that. I couldn't support it. I was like, man, fuck this. I'll go find a new game.
Yeah, and I stopped playing it for a good year, 2 years, 3 years or so, and I just got burned out from Apex and started going back and trying things that I used to play in the past, and I fell back in love with it.
Yeah.
It's still great.
Yeah,
so.
No, I've been getting back into Fortnite a little bit. I'm trying. I just don't have much time.
I played it more too.
Yeah, I just don't know. I can't get into it as much because I just don't have time to get in there. And like also mouse and keyboard, I've had this struggle for like 3 years now where like I just can't get on enough to actually get good at it that like it makes me want to play video games because like I just don't have the muscle memory. So I don't know. I'm with you on Apex though. Like Apex, Jack has been trying to get me on Apex for a while, and I never really got fully involved in it. But I was liking it, and Gibby's been like, "Dude, I just got my PC. I'd love to play fucking Apex with you." And it's just like I don't want to play Apex right now. Like there's nothing alluring.
I've been really wanting to find some sort of like a solo or co-op. Like legitimate.
The solo games cost money.
Not like Elden Ring, not even like The Force Awakens. I just want something, or the new one that just came out.
The Jedi Survivor, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've wanted to get that, but I mean, the base game itself is $80.
My thing with that is like I don't know how invested I'm going to be able to get in single player anymore, and I got to pay $70 for it. And it's just I don't know if I'm gonna fucking spend $70 and hate the game and not play it anymore. So
yeah, and like I love the first one, and I know they've done a lot of newer things to the second one to keep it more interactive and engaged. But I mean, even still, it's I don't know.
I feel you, man. I feel you. And as we get older, video games just maybe it has to do with time playing, or like Jack was saying before, the whole thing where like I can go on YouTube now and watch a pro player play it, and I'll learn so much more than I ever could if I was just learning the game by myself. That it kind of makes it just I don't know. It just desensitizes us. It like desensitizes us almost. Like it's just it loses its taste because back in the day, Modern Warfare 2 was the absolute shit, bro. I used to love playing it. Now, like, arena shooters are just not it. X Defiant came out, which is, like, supposedly going to dethrone Call of Duty or whatever. I was playing it with Stolzy. I liked it for, like, a couple games, and then I was just like, this is just Call of Duty from Ubisoft. So I don't... Yeah. I'm not going to get that game when it actually drops. So, is what it is. But, fucking, what you been sipping on, Jack? Besides
a few things. Yeah. Well, if we're talking porn, it's the wheelhouse. No. But anyway, video game wise, man, I'm an Apex guy. It's free. It's something most of my homies play. I run a clan on there. I'm a monster at it.
That's what kept me playing for the most part for a long time was the fact that I was
got a good group
with y'all and stuff like that. It
I can get on at any time of day and there's at least one friend playing.
It's hard to play with you though because they got skill based matchmaking and fucking it's just like I get in, I get absolutely destroyed every time I play in your lobbies.
That's what I was gonna say, man. You're never going to want to continue playing until you find like kind of like a group of people who aren't as advanced so you can learn the game.
Well,
because it's no fun to play that game with people who have played it for years because the learning curve is one of the most extreme for first person shooters.
When I play, and I agree with that. But when I play with like Jeff, Justin, Gibby, fucking even Sawyer, and Sawyer's pretty good too. Like I don't have a bad time playing it. I'm still not the best. I'm still like the weak link of the team or whatever. But your lobbies are definitely different than just about everybody else that I play with. But you've been a gamer. You're the reason why I game. Fucking you, Jack, you, Jeff, and Justin, because I always wanted to play the fucking games that you guys had, being the older cousins when I was a kid. So yeah.
Well, yeah, Apex though, that's my go-to. It's just it gives me my competitive itch because I'm a big single player guy too. But I like to go in and just whoop on some people. Yeah, same. I've been Homeman 117 on Xbox servers for 21 years now. And honestly, I like thinking about it from time to time. I'm like, man, I've been in here mopping kids for a long time.
Bro,
I've been mopping people's who they're my age and they have kids. And I just want to be like, you go ask your dad about home Alone 7.
I'm the same way, bro. My Xbox account, I mean, I'm on, like, it still carries over to some games. Fufu Magellan 11, first gamer tag, still has the original Gears of War emblem that I have got from the original Xbox 360. And, like, that's one thing, because I'm trying to learn mouse and keyboard. Me and Ryan actually played Fortnite the other night, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. I think I'm going to have more fun if I just jump into fucking controller. Played one game, and I was like, I'm better at mouse and keyboard at this point in time. But I'm still not...
Are you really?
Yes. Yeah, dude. As came, I played one game.
Yeah, he played one. We played 2 games. The first one was MK. The second one was controller, and by far stats were better on MK.
Yeah, and I was just like, and that's the thing about it. I'm not nearly as good as MNK as I was with controller back in the day, because I used to mop people at fucking shooters on controller, and now that I can't do that, it's hard to get on, man. I know I could get there if I put the time into it, but I don't have the time, so...
I think I've been pretty consistent mop water my entire gaming career, so...
Oh, no.
Well, yeah, my bad.
Nah, go ahead, Jack. This is your section.
Well, so Apex, obviously, it's for my competitive edge. It's for my... If I'm going to play a first-person shooter, that's what I'm going to play. But I'm also... I mean, I've got a retro gaming collection. Y'all have seen it. I'm up to 7 systems now, spanning all the way back from Super Nintendo to the current Xbox. Actually, no, not the Series X. I still have the one because I'm a broke bitch. But I've got 7 systems with over 600 games. So I've got like so many games I can play, and I really enjoy playing them, especially because I have a 9-year-old son. I'm currently on a run through of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which came out for PlayStation 1. Wow. One of the toughest platformers you'll ever play.
Oh, dude, 100%. Castlevania platformers back in the day were insane.
It's so unforgiving. The enemies do so much damage, and you really have to learn their different patterns. And one thing that's cool about that game in particular versus games that come out now is the attention to detail. Almost every room you go in, there's new enemies. There's almost, I think, 80 different types of enemies in that game, and that's not including the bosses. So you're always fighting shit that have different patterns. And I'm really proud of myself because I haven't given up, despite the fact I've wanted to fucking break my controller playing it over the last couple weeks. But I'm almost 50% through the game. Once you get to 50%, it plays you. You think you beat the game, but then the entire castle, so the entire map, which is huge, flips upside down, and then you have to go back through the fucking game and beat all the bosses again, who are harder. It's incredible. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. I'm playing the new Zelda. I'm fucking... God, what else have I been playing as far as... That's enough for video games. A lot of video games, man. Something I do with my son. When it comes to
I want to play that new Zelda. Fucking just can't get it.
Oh, it's incredible, man. It's like I said, hit up Tay-Tay. She might not be playing her Switch right now.
I might.
When it comes to shows, I kind of watch, like, my comfort shows when I do watch TV, because I don't often. Me and my son watch.
Are you a fucking Cylon yet?
No, bro. I'm like at the end of season 2. And I haven't been watching it lately because I don't want to watch it with my son, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm like at the end of season 2. It kind of hit a lull for me at one point, so I stopped, but I'll get back into it. Yeah. There's this one section where I was like, these episodes aren't grabbing me. But the show is dope, for sure.
The first 2 seasons are dope. Once you get into 3 and 4, I like the entire series, but there's a shift. It gets a little bit fucking hit aliens, fucking. It gets like that in 3 and 4, bro.
I did just start watching this show, and I highly recommend it. It sounds stupid. I'm probably going to do a terrible job describing it, but it's called The Great or The Greats. It's on Hulu. And it's like satire on what you would expect from like kind of like a weird British show. Like they speak English, and it's like kind of like what you would see. Like, what am I thinking?
Don't American shows speak English too?
Oh no, like it's like UK English, like like that accent. But it's kind of like what you would expect from like these like weird UK aristocracy shows where it's about like the royal family or this, which they don't grab me at all. But it's satire, and the whole idea of the show is like. This well-off or somewhat well-off English woman is she gets picked by the Prince of Russia. So he's going to be the king of Russia, and she's going to be the empress, and she's so excited. And she gets there, and like the whole first episode is so fucking funny because this prince, by the way, I don't know who this actor is, but he's fucking hilarious, and he's just kind of trolling her. Like the first thing he does when she walks in, because it's like very misogynistic, she can't say a word, and she's just standing upright. Like he's like walking around her, like looking at her butt, looking at like checking her out, like like making sure he made the right choice. And first thing he says, he goes, "You're not as tall as you were in your portrait. Send her away." he goes to walk her away, and just like halfway walking out of the room, he starts cracking up, like he's just trolling her. And he's like, "I'm just kidding. You're beautiful, bro." And that's like the first 10 minutes of the episode. And it just gets funny and funny. Like there's this whole scene later on where he goes to consummate the marriage, and she's talking to her handmaiden, and she's like, "Oh yeah," like the handmaiden's like, "Well, what do you know about sex?" Like she's a virgin, and she's like, "Oh, my mother told me it's like this beautiful thing, and we're gonna make love for hours, and then he's gonna whisper poetry in my ear afterwards." And bro, like he comes into the room, he's like, "Lay down." She goes to lay down, and he's got his buddy in the room who we just went hunting with, and his buddy's just like they're having a conversation about like hunting pigs while he is fucking her. It's ridiculous, and like he just like finishes, gets up, he's like, "All right, that was great. Talk to you later." It is seriously fucking.
I need to watch that. That sounds great. I don't know if I have Hulu still, but that sounds really funny.
Man.
Okay.
I showed it to Justin. He was like, "Dude, that is some of the dumbest shit I've ever." I know. I was like, "Dude, I know. It's been out since like 2020. I'd never heard of it, and then it randomly came on a Hulu ad, like it won these awards, and I was like, all right, I'll give this a try." And bro, I couldn't stop laughing. The only thing that sucks is I can't watch it while my son's here because it's obviously incredibly vulgar and the type of misogyny I don't stand by, but I will laugh at it.
Oh yeah, comedy's comedy.
I'm gonna laugh at it.
Comedy's comedy.
Anyway, that's about it for me.
Okay.
What I've been sipping on as far as important shit.
So fucking what I've been sipping on. So first of all, we're gonna have to get into it. I'm about 20 episodes back. Fucking, I know Jack doesn't know anything about this. I think are you caught up on One Piece, or you haven't watched One Piece, have you? Right.
I got through 4 episodes and was like, hell no.
Okay, well, it is one of those shows that fucking it does not get good.
You gotta go through 2 or 3 seasons to get to the
bro,
good stuff.
it's even more than 2 or 3 seasons. Fucking it's
no,
very story
I'm not
driven.
Gonna suffer for 4
I get you, and I completely understand that, but it is about to go down in One Piece. I'm about 20 episodes back, but there is something, if you're familiar with it, it's not going to be fucking too much of a spoiler. And besides that, you won't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But he has this special ability that he goes through gears like a car, like Gear 1, Gear 2, Gear 3. He's about ready to start doing Gear 5, which is going to be his new power-up, his new transformation. And Toei Animation, who animates it as animates One Piece, is actually turning up, partnering with Warner Brother for the animation of this new fight or whatever. And so like we're talking about like multi-million-dollar production for fucking one of the longest running animes of all time. It's something that I've been watching since a child. It's about to go down here in the next couple months. So if you haven't checked out One Piece, definitely do. I will say what we were kind of talking about. It depends on who you are. Some people swear by it, but it does take about 300-400 episodes to even really get going, in my opinion. And it doesn't really get great until like episode 800. So like it's an investment. It's been running since the 90s or early 2000s. But I will say it is worth it if you can invest the time. Besides that, I just started fucking Yellowstone on Peacock. Which have either of you seen that?
No, I heard it's amazing though.
No, and my parents, my mom and dad were the ones who were telling me to get on that, and I was about ready to take a flight, which I had to cancel to go down and visit them last week, and I decided that I was going to try and download it because the Peacock was one of the things where you can do like the offline streaming, and I decided this week to like give it a start, bro. It is good. Like, I'm only like halfway through the second season, but it's already starting to look like a banger. It's kind of like a modern day Western that takes place in Yellowstone, Montana. There's a lot of like politics and, a bunch of debauchery going on, a lot of like militias forming and stuff like that. But the way that this family just like coexists with each other, but is so shit to each other is fucking phenomenal. It's a good show. Definitely recommend people check it out. Yeah.
Isn't it Han Solo, Indiana Jones? Harrison Ford?
No.
Right? Isn't he in it? No? Am I thinking of a different show?
He might be in the later seasons. I don't know if he is, and it's Kevin Costner.
I could be thinking of something else. Oh, it is Costner.
It's Kevin Costner. Yeah.
Costner.
Yeah. And
Costner's cool. I fuck with Costner.
It is. And another thing that is really cool about it is like it kind of really touches into the whole like Native American, like Trail of Tears, how we've like put these people on these reservations and they have nothing, and like there's this entity in there from the reservation that is trying to essentially take back the Yellowstone from the European cultures or whatever and stuff like that. So it gets into like that like racism and all the, you know, political stuff on that aspect of things. So it's a really involved, deep show, and like there's a lot going on. So I definitely recommend people check it out. Yeah. Besides that, I had a music fucking thing that I was going to say, but I think I forgot about it. So I don't know if we're going to get.
Well, think about it for a second, because I did want to talk about the NBA playoffs right now, which I've never been really into that, at least since I used to play basketball way back in high school, like 20 years ago. But I've gotten back into it.
Do you watch it, Ryan?
No.
You don't watch the NBA? Okay.
I'll tell you what, man. Like I'm pretty cynical when it comes to the NBA. I still have my reservations, but this has been really interesting. Really, I like the Lakers because I like LeBron. I like a lot of the players.
I hate the Lakers.
I'm also
love LeBron.
Well, I'm also like a legacy Lakers guy. I was a huge fan of Kobe. You know, Shaq, when they had that super team with Gary Payton and Shaq, that's when I actually used to watch it. So I like the Lakers, but I'm skeptical that they have what it takes against Joker and the Nuggets. So that's one thing. I do think that
I disagree.
Anyway,
I
know,
I disagree.
I'm not saying that they don't have what it takes. I do think Joker is the best player in the league. He deserved MVP for a third year straight,
for sure.
Here's the thing.
Let's talk about that for a second, because we're going to bring up NBA playoffs. You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Cool. The thing about it is, I think that fucking the Lakers, I believe that they have the best defense. It's kind of proven that they've had the best defense. AD is a guy that can defend Joker. He hasn't necessarily done it, he has done it in the first two games. He hasn't showed up offensively, and that's a big point for the Lakers that they need. AD needs to stop being such a streaky offensive player. He needs to hit down these things. He was like 20% or something the last two games than when he was playing against the Nuggets. But my thing with it is, if they can make Joker play an average game, the Lakers will win that game.
I agree. I just don't think that anyone can consistently do that. He's incredible.
I think they've done it, but fucking found a way to get the other people involved. Like Jamal Murray's fourth quarter might be one of the best playoff performances I've ever seen in the last game. That dude,
shit was nuts.
The dude was making fucking every single shot that he put up. That's a Kentucky boy, by the way, so fucking props to him. But like, I just think when it comes down to it, they need to switch some momentum. So, like they did in the last series, the Lakers, they ended up taking game 2 or game 1. Anyway, the first homestand that they had in the series, they won one of those games. That's the biggest thing to winning a series as a road team during that series. And they were able to do that. They weren't able to do it against the Nuggets, so they have to have a shift here. They need to change the momentum in the next two games. They need to win fucking both these games at LA, and then they need to find a way to sneak one off of them. I think that the Lakers end up taking it in 7.
I think it's possible that they go two games straight here. We'll see tonight. It's going to be a big game. But really what I want to talk about is the fucking Heat. Being an 8 seed, and they've won.
Jimmy Butts in the playoff.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, bro, they've currently won 10 games and lost 3, and they're on their third series. They beat the fucking Milwaukee Bucks, who were the 1 seed 4-1, right?
Yeah, it was 8-1. 8-1.
Yeah, 4-1, and then they went 4-2 in the second series. Can't remember who they fucking played.
No, they went 4-1. I don't know what they did in the first series, but they went 4-1 in the last. They won it in 5.
Okay, then they went 4-2 in the first series against the Bucks, is what it is. But they beat the 1 seed. They're the 8 seed, and now they're playing the number 2 seed in the Celtics, and they're up 2 games, none, and they're about to go to Miami.
Yeah, and the second series they won without Hero. Their point guard.
Right.
Yeah.
Bro, and they're just Jimmy Butler looks unstoppable. When he gets hot, he's one of my favorite players to watch. Like, I'm literally like obsessed with the NBA right now simply because of watching players like him. It's like, holy fuck, like the way he can take over a game is crazy.
One of the best players in the league, and he's a playoff guy. He's one of those guys, big players step up in big situations, and he steps up in big situations. The thing that I think about the Heat is, and I don't know because I don't watch regular season basketball. I do college, but like the NBA does not really get competitive until the playoffs. I think that most of it is irrelevant until we get to playoff season. But it kind of is like, why the fuck are the Heat only an 8 seed? And they're not even just an 8 seed. They had to play in the play-in games in order to get the 8 seed. So they lost one of the play-in games because the way the play-in games work, it's like sudden death. They take the 9 and the 10, and then whoever wins that game has to play. So if you're the 10 seed, you got to win 3 games to get into the 2 games. But you essentially have to, if you're the 10 seed, you have to win more in order to even get into the playoffs. Going into the 8 seed, and they just beat the best team in the East and fucking go in, and they're fucking stacked, bro. Fucking Butler, Lowry, Harrow. They've got a bunch of role players that I can't pronounce his name. Whatever. He's a Kentucky boy, but fucking the dude, fucking like they're great. I don't know how they're an 8 seed. And when they were in the first series against the Bucks. First series against the Bucks, bro, they were like 2 games in. I was like, this team's making the Eastern Finals. They're probably making the championship.
Bro, they might. And I was just Googling it to reinforce because I'm ignorant on it. No 8 seed has ever won the NBA Finals. I don't think they necessarily have the best chances because I still think who comes out of the West wins it all. But they could. They could. The way they're playing, just with the intensity, their confidence. Bro, the Celtics. Bro, I read an article the other day. Someone was talking about how the Celtics are going to destroy the Heat. And I was like, you guys are being real fucking confident for this shit because I've watched both teams play and the Heat look better.
Here's the thing about it. They just won 2 games in Boston. The number 2 seed. And they realistically could sweep. I don't necessarily think it will happen. I'm taking Heat in 6. But if they sweep, this Nuggets Lakers series, this Lakers Nuggets series could go 7 games. If they sweep, that's a lot of time that they have to rest their players before the finals happen, which could or could not be a good thing. So.
Yeah, right. You never know. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about that because I was just kind of Googling it while we were talking, and I really wanted to mention it. So.
All right. Hell yeah. Well, Ryan, you got anything else you want to talk about?
I think I'm okay. I mean, y'all were talking about NBA. I'm not the biggest NBA person. I'm more of an NHL person. So
if you want to talk about NHL, because my buddy Sigmund's really trying to get me into the NHL. He told me that it is the most competitive pro sport that there is.
Oh, dude, hands down. This playoff series has been one of the most competitive series in NHL history. There's been more overtime games in this playoff series in the NHL than there has been in pretty much any other season in NHL history.
He was telling me that the Penguins were, I don't know if they're the East or West, I guess East, because he told me that their demographics are actually like they stick to demographics in the NHL. Mm-hmm. But he told me that the Penguins, that's who I'm talking about, right? They're like the best hockey team that's ever been fucking assembled. They had the 1 seed. They were the best team in the league. And they lost.
The Bruins.
Yeah, the Bruins. Yeah, the Bruins, and fucking they lost
they
in Game
lost
7 to the
wild
Panthers.
Card too.
Yeah, they lost to the 8 seed on their side of the division, and they lost in fucking overtime in Game 7. So I was like, damn, that's something.
Yeah. One team right now, Dallas Stars. They're one of their series. They're in the
fuck them.
They're in the semifinals.
Yeah,
right
bro.
I know,
fucking,
right?
I could give a fuck less. Anything that's in the Cowboy City can suck a dick.
No, they're all three of their first games in this seed have gone into overtime and they have lost.
Did they beat the Kraken?
Yes, they beat them in Game 7 in overtime.
Yeah. So what are we on to the Stanley Cup now? Finals?
We're on the conference champions right now.
Okay. So
it's the Panthers and the Hurricane, and then Vegas Golden Knights and Dallas Stars.
Okay. As long as Dallas doesn't win, I'm okay.
Dude, I'm really hoping that Vegas pulls it out, and it's Vegas and the Canes.
See, people hate Vegas, from what I understand.
I don't understand why. It was the second newest team, and it's a bunch of people that are either new guys or veterans. So I mean, veterans are pulling the new guys under their wing, and they're sweeping everybody.
Oh yeah. Well, shit.
I'd recommend it, especially if you're going to get into the playoff hockey. Now would be the time because it is the conference championships. The very next series is going to be the Stanley Cup.
Yep. Hell yeah. Well, that's what we've been sipping on, y'all. This has been episode 56 of Your House, Our Rules. Peace.